Hi, everybody. Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas. I know it's a holiday. My husband has the day off, so I'm sure a lot of you have different schedules today, which is just fine. I thought about pushing it to Tuesday and Wednesday. But I have a couple of appointments on Wednesday, a dentist appointment and an eye appointment. And so I decided I'm just going to go ahead and go live today. Those of you who are here will bless me. And those of you who couldn't watch me live can watch me on replay. So welcome to my Tuttle Up crafting room. It's kind of a hot mess right now. I have like several things going on this week. I have 2 classes that I need to get out in the mail, and then I have my big winter retreat this weekend. So busy, 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 but I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about, I lost one of my windows here. Let's see if I can get it back. Got to remember what the name of it is. Overlays. There we go. Okay, so first of all, I want to remind you about the product of the month. Now, one of my friends, Becky, just messaged me and said I just put in an order for over $75 and I forgot to add the product of the month. She's going to try to call Stampin' Up tomorrow and see if they will add it to her order, but I don't know if they will do that or not. Hi, Mary Ann. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. So I don't know if they'll let her add it afterwards, but don't forget to do that. Pay attention at the top of the screen on the ordering. Hi, Paula. Thank you for your big order yesterday. I so appreciate it. I hope you love the classes that you're going to get in the mail this week. All right, so product of the month is the January stamp set, $5 with any order of $75 or more, all right? Then we also have bonus days going on. That means you get a $5 coupon. Hi, Jana Edwards. Thanks for joining me. I don't know if I realized, Jana, you lived in Corpus Christi. That's cool. I don't know if I realized you were a Texan. Mary Ann above is a Texan. Well, you can't see her because you're on YouTube. Anyway, bonus days. You get a $5 coupon for every $50 you spend that you can use in February on your order. So, every time you place an order of $50 or more, they send you an email right away saying you have earned these coupons and here are your codes, all right? And then I only have 1 class on the calendar right now. I had so many classes in January. So the next class I have available to everyone is the Nature's Walk card class. So every month I'm working really hard to provide you with an affordable birthday card class, okay? And I love the Nature Walk suite. I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. And I think it's great for men because of the colors that are in it, but it's really just great for everyone, okay? So let me go to my hands here and show you what happened to my Netty Cam. Here it is. Show you this suite that we will be using for this class. So first of all, you get this Night of Navy ribbon, or maybe it's Secret Sea. It's Secret Sea ribbon. Very soft and sheer. It's going to be great. Hi, Mary. To put on cards. You get these, they're almost brass-looking hexagons. They're called faux bronze pentagons. I was close. They're pentagons. The math teacher in me should have known that. Pentagons, fake bronze pentagons. There you go. Thank you, Mary Ann. Okay, so that is part of the class. Here is the bundle. It's called Nature Symphony. Very earthy, right? You get some extra elements in the dies that are like wood grains and dots and hash marks to add some texture and elements to the cards. This is the bundle, the stamp set, and the dies that go with this this suite. And then I want to show you the papers. So very, oh, I don't know what you would call it. They've been hand painted and then they've taken a picture of it. I'm trying to think of the name of that. So here's the backside, very masculine looking, right? But the front is beautiful. Look at this one with the blue swirls. Almost looks Monet-ish. And then here's one with some Night of Navy and Secret Sea in it as well. Here is an old olive, mossy meadow, very vanilla. A little bit of pecan pie in there. The back has some pretty peacock. Isn't that awesome? And then let's keep going. You get this crumb cake kind of hash mark that's also got a variation in color. Look at this scripty design on the back. So you can see why this tends to be a little bit more masculine. I love this one. With the ombre effect, that's kind of what I was trying to think of. It kind of goes from a soft green to a garden green to a really dark, intense green. And then the back side, more mossy meadow on that one. And then this one, we got that pretty peacock, that kind of washed look. And then the back side of that is this, almost looks like a ledger form, right? So this is the papers that's part of the Nature's Walk suite. So it's going to make great masculine cards. And then there's another set of paper here that's part of this suite. And this is called Natural Hues. And I wish you guys could feel this. Maybe you can kind of see the texture there, right? So it's got a lot of texture. It's a little thicker, and it comes in 3 colors here. So like a vanilla, a crumb cake, and then that's almost like a washed out pecan pie almost, but super thick, lots of texture. It's going to add a lot to those cards for that class, okay? So if you're interested in this class, it's $25 for 4 cards. And if you're getting it to go, you'll have to pay a little bit for shipping. You'll get everything you need to make those cards, but you'll have to have the stamp set, okay? Because I'm not allowed to stamp things for you. So that is the Nature's Walk class that's coming up here on the horizon. All right. Today, we are using the Creative Haven bundle, and I just had it right here. Where did I moved it off to the side over here. Okay, so let me go back to my hands here. I can't wait to show you. Gosh, I don't know why my Netty Cam keeps going away. Here we go. So Creative Haven stamp set and dies are part of the Hobby Haven suite, okay? We use the Hobby Haven suite for the holiday break craft along, but we didn't use the Creative Haven stamp set and dies, and I love these. As soon as I saw these, I thought, first of all, I love the sentiments. You're the best. Friends like you are golden. Deep breathe. Have you ever had a friend that you need to say, just breathe, right? Just calm. You've got this, right? So happy to have you in my life. And this little scripty one says, you deserve all the good things, okay? And then it has this awesome die set that coordinates with it. It has lots of tags and a little bit of greenery. So today's cards and tomorrow's cards. This week's card class is going to have 4 cards in it. And they're all pretty simple. Still free with a $50 order, but I'm going to throw in the linen thread, a bolt of this that we are using for this class this week. Okay, so hi Debbie Green, thanks for joining and thanks for sharing. And hi Sharon, thanks for joining me today on, I was going to say on your day off, but Sharon just retired, so she has every day off now. That's fun. Okay, so this week's online class to go will be 4 cards and a bolt of linen thread with any order of $50 or more. Okay, so I'm going to need these. I'm going to keep these out. And you know, this paper, you guys remember, has tons of ephemera. I'm going to be using the ephemera on my cards today and tomorrow. And it has hobbies. So you can kind of see them here. There's coffee, there's baking, there's sewing, there's reading, there's spa, a little spa inspired. I don't even know if that's a hobby, but I could make a hobby out of going to the spa, right? And there's gardening. So there's lots of greenery and pots of greenery and shelves of greenery. It's just, oh, fun, Debbie. It is Midland today. We have a high of 54, so a little cooler than normal for us, but I do not miss snow days. I miss having a day where you're kind of forced to be still, right? But I hated being cold. I lived in Nebraska for 33 years and I hated being cold. Okay, so this is the paper. The paper is called Hobby Haven. And the stamp set and bundle is called Creative Haven. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using today. And like I said, we're going to be using linen thread. And we're going to be using these matte dots, neutral matte dots. Okay, so let's get started. First card is a little, I call it a flip fold. I don't know what the official name is, but what I love about it, so this is the baking paper. It's got all the baking elements on it. Pies, a mixer, cookie sheet, coffee, a blender, right? All the fun things. And then it flips like this. And then on the inside, you can see the little coffee cup and it says you're the best. And so it'll sit up nicely. You guys know I love cards that sit up nicely. So super easy to put together. I really love this little cupcake here with the cherry on top. It's so cute. So let me pull out my elements here. And these cards were meant to be simple this week. Okay, so nothing over the top. We are just making basic cards and just trying to help you with a little creativity. So I have all my little pieces and elements in this envelope. Here's that baking paper, so cute. And the opposite side of the baking paper is this green, but instead I'm using this one for my edge because I felt like it kind of looked like a granite countertop, which, you know, I thought about baking for that. So this is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and then we're going to cut 1 inch off the front right here. So this panel ends up being 3 1/4, and then we score it, the back panel, at 1 inch. Okay, so that's going to create that kind of that flip back fold there. Okay, so let me get my bone folder. I heard a lot of people, and Debbie, remind me where you're from. Hi, Lisa, Michigan. Yeah, my friend Cindy lives in Michigan. She told me they got quite a bit of snow. I know Boston got quite a bit of snow, so it's been snowy up north for sure. Okay, so I'm going to take this panel, 3 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I'm going to glue it to the front here of my card base. Right like that. Okay, and then this piece is, you know what, that's a little crooked. Let me straighten that out. Good thing I used liquid glue, right? That's one of the good things about liquid glue, is that if you make a mistake, you have just a little bit of time to straighten it out. There we go. Much better. All right. So this little strip is going to go right over here on this edge. It's 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 inches. It's going to go right there on that side. Okay. I'm going to get back to this in a second. I have an everyday arch, one of my favorite die sets, the everyday arches. If you don't have this one, it's a good one. This one has a straight edge of 2 7/8. I'm going to use this on my card front. I have some ephemera here. I have this scallop design that came from my ephemera. I have my cupcake. Pull that out here. There we go. And I have this tag that I cut out using the dies from this bundle. Where did I keep throwing them around here. Okay. So it's this die. It's a smaller one right here. It's this die right here. Excuse me. I cut this out of Basic Beige. Okay. All right. So let's get started putting this together. So this little scallop right here, I'm just going to run it across my edge about a 1/2 inch above the bottom on my arch here, right like that. Then I'm just going to cut off the excess. Right like that. Then I'm going to take this die, this tag die, and I'm going to stamp "You're the Best" in. Mary, I bet you don't have a snow day, right? Hi, another Michiganer. Yes, Coastal Cabana cardstock, Paula, for the base. I'm sorry I didn't say that. Hi, Becky White. Thanks for liking and sharing. It is very cute paper. It's so much fun. I've loved working with this paper this year. All right, so it looks like my comments are all caught up there. All right, so I'm using Coastal Cabana ink, and I'm going to stamp "You're the Best" right in the center of this tag right here. Get in here so I can get it super even and straight. There we go. Beautiful. And I'm going to add my linen thread to the top. I'm going to add 2 strings of linen thread right here. And I'm going to put it through the hole of my tag. If you have a hole, you should use it, right? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to tie it in a bow right up here at the top. There we go. How fun is that? And then I like to kind of fluff out my linen thread a little bit. Now this is going to get popped up right here in the middle of that arch, right like that. And I'm going to use some dimensionals. There we go. And this is going to get popped up onto the arch. Really easy card to put together. I think you guys will love this online class to go because it's definitely one everyone can do. Okay, I might cut that one little leg out there, right there. All right, and then our cupcake is going to get popped up right here at the bottom, right on that scallop and overlapping that label just a tad. I'm going to put a large dimensional here and then a small one at the very top. There we go. I wanted to tell y'all, I'm so thankful for how many of you ordered last week's class to go. I loved the Lovely Blooms class, and I'm glad that you loved it too. And it just warms my heart that you're willing to put your trust in me for some online classes to go. So thank you for that. I got several people who signed up for the Valentine Kisses craft along. Both of those closed yesterday. Like I said in my Sizzler. Okay, so this is my envelope. So what I do is all of my ephemera, I stick inside of an envelope here because they fall out from that sheet, and this way I can just kind of keep them all together. I needed to pull out this little banner right here. Okay, so this banner is going to go at the bottom here of this card. Let me add a little bit of liquid glue to the edge. There we go. Go right like that. And then this one is going to pop up on the inside with a dimensional. Like a little coffee cup. Who wouldn't want to meet a friend for a cupcake and a cup of coffee? Man, that might be my two favorite things in the world. Donuts would be in there as well. I love donuts. Okay, so now this panel is going to get adhered to the inside of our card right here. Hi, Carolyn Ketchmark. Frigid, Minnesota. I bet it is frigid. So cold this time of year up north, right? You guys are very brave. So make sure you stay warm. Turn up that heat, wear your fuzzy socks and your sweats and wrap in a blanket and stay inside and be warm and cozy. Okay, so this panel right here is going to get it here right over here on this edge of this flip back panel right here, okay? So I want to put dimensionals, but I only want to put them behind on this edge right here. So I'm going to flip it over. I only want dimensionals right here. So I'm going to do 4 of them. 2, 3, and 4. It's amazing after living 33 years in Lincoln how quickly I become unacclimated to the cold. So yesterday it was like 45 here, and all day long I was like, I'm so cold. My husband was like, how did you make it? I go, I loved you a whole lot. That's how I made it. All right, so see, this flips back. This shuts like that. It's a little flip card, and it can sit up like this. You got the little cup of coffee down there. You're the best. And you have a lot of space here to write a little note to a friend telling them how much you love them, right? One more thing to do is that I took these pecan pie dots and I just sprinkled some of them on here on the front of my card. You can put them wherever you want. I used 3. You could use more if you want to. Someone asked me, why do you use? I usually use 3. I always use odd numbers, always. That's ingrained in me. But sometimes I use 5. So I used 3. So here's card number 1. Thanks, Viv. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you're watching me today. How fun. So how cute is that? Who wouldn't want to get a card that says you're the best with a little cupcake? And you know what would be great is if you added a gift card to a bakery or something on the inside, right? That would be fun. Okay, so that is my first card. Super simple, super easy, but impressive at the same time, right? So there we go. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put this one away. And our second card is all about sewing. So out of all of my stampers, I honestly would say probably half of them are also sewers, right? So Friends Like You are golden. I love that. It got a little bit of ephemera up here. We die cut the banners. This is that textured notes dies in petal pink. And then the inside, look how cute this is. Happy to have you in my life. I love it. So let's make this card. Let me pull out my pieces here. Okay. So I'm starting with a card base that is pecan pie. Right, like that. Okay. And then I have a piece of Cajun craze. So these scissors, this little pin cushion here, there's definitely quite a bit of Cajun craze in this panel of DSP. So I'm bringing that out. So this panel is 4 by 5 1/4. This is tiny bit bigger. So it is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So I just want a tiny little border of that Cajun craze. So that tells you you should use liquid glue because it's going to be a tight fit, right? Okay, so this is Vivian. I don't know if you saw the card that I gave to Imelda for bringing me chicken soup when I was sick, and it had a sewing theme to it. You know what, Sharon? I bought her, we have a new kit called Pet Adoption. Have you guys seen that kit? And I bought it for her and was telling her about it. And she said, can we do a Facebook Live together? And I'm like, you know what? We haven't done that in a long time. So maybe we'll do the Pet Adoption kit together here soon. Super cute, kind of 3D. There's a dog and a kitty cat. There's a dog in a doghouse, and it's 3D, so it all pops up. There's a kitty cat in a box. There's a parrot in a bird cage, and there's a hamster in a hamster cage. So cute. They all come with adoption certificates, and they each have their own little toy to play with, which I think is adorable. So, okay. So here we go. Here is that textured notes dies. Where are you guys? There you are. I lost you there first. A textured note die. Cut out of petal pink. There's a lot of petal pink in this, right? And then I already used this banner die that's part of the die set to cut the opposite side of this DSP, which is this Coastal Cabana, right? All right, so I've got a scrap piece of white here, and I'm going to stamp this sentiment that says, friends like you are golden, and I'm going to stamp it in pecan pie. Yeah, so cute, right? Yeah, the pop-up pals were cute last year. This is called Pet Adoption or Adopt a Pet or something like that. But it is just adorable. Okay, so I'm stamping this in pecan pie on a scrap of white here. And then, isn't that just a pretty little banner die? So cute. And then I'm going to die cut it out over here for us. So I'm going to grab a piece of that Post-it note tape and secure it maybe right down here. So you're going to hear my new electric machine over here. I still use the Stampin' Up! Die cutting machine all the time, but my wrist was starting to hurt. I was die cutting so much, so I gifted myself an electric machine, and I use it when I need to, right? So here we go. I'm going to pull this off. There we go. And I use the same die. The sentiment, everything I'm using today, Brenda, is from the Creative Haven bundle. Okay? Creative Haven bundle. So I'm using all these sentiments, and then they have these coordinating dies. It goes with the Hobby Haven suite. Okay? All right. So let's start layering this. I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this petal pink panel. I'm going to put one in each corner and then one in the center to give it some support there. All right. So, besides creating these cards, I've been working on my retreat for the weekend, which is 2 classes, the Made with Love suite and the Lovely and Beautiful suite. So I'm going to kind of offset these banners like this. This one I'm going to put on flat. And then, yes, so it is called an Anna Griffin die cutting machine. I got the Empress, which is the larger one, and I do love it, but you should know, which I didn't find out until after I bought it, it does not emboss. It only die cuts. Okay, so you still need a machine that you can use embossing folders on. Okay, so now this is what I have so far. My rectangle panel and the banner that I cut kind of offset like that. And then this one, I'm going to add dimensionals to the back. And then I'm going to catty corner it, kind of going the other way. I think I need one in the middle here. So I'm going to have chicken noodle soup. And one of my favorite things to make is homemade chicken noodle soup. And I told Jim this morning, I'm kind of craving that. I think I want some chicken noodle soup. So he went to the grocery store to get what we needed while I'm doing my Facebook Live here. So I'm using this flower. It's one of the ephemera in the kit. And I'm using a heart here. How about I just empty them all? Because I'm going to use them all eventually, right? Okay, so this flower is just getting tucked inside this corner right here to just give a little color there, right? In that corner. And let's see, I can't remember if I popped it up or not. Doesn't look like it. Looks like I put it on flat. So I'm just going to put a little glue down here at the bottom. And then kind of tuck it under this corner, right like that. All right. And then I'm going to grab my linen thread. So this week's online card class to go will include a bolt of linen thread. Okay. So if you place a $50 order this week, you will get a bolt of linen thread. If you spend more than $60, I'll throw in the dots for you. Okay. I cannot stamp images, so you will need that Creative Haven stamp set to finish your cards like mine, okay? That's against, if there are demonstrators out there doing that, it's shame on them. It is against the rules. Stampin' Up! will cancel their demonstratorship if they know they're doing that. So, and don't tell me if they are, because I don't want to know. It'll just make me sad. I'm a rule follower, so. Oh, there you go, Mary. What I love about this Anna Griffin Empress is that the base is, and there are other electric die cutting machines out there that'll do them both. I had a Tim Holtz Vagabond for a while. But what I love about this Anne Griffin one is that the base, the cutting base, is 9 inches by 12 inches. So I can cut a ton of die cuts all at once. So I just put that linen bow on there with a glue dot up in that corner. And I'm going to add some dots to the front here. And I used these basic beige ones. Put one there. I put one right here. And then I put another one up here in that corner right there. Okay. Now, for the inside, I have a Cajun craze that is cut 4 by 5 1/4, so a little smaller than the front. I felt like that size that I used on the front was just too big for the inside. So I'm going to glue this flat to the inside here. So Paula Tim Holtz Vagabond was awesome. I had it for 7 years. It was starting not to cut the way I hoped. So that's why I decided to replace it with this one that I just got. Okay, so I have several pieces of ephemera here that I'm going to add to the inside. I have this body shaper. I'm sure there's another name for it, but that's what I'm calling it for now. It's used for sewing, right? And then I have my pin cushion that I'm going to put a dimensional on the back and secure it right here. So I have both. I have my Stampin' Up! Die cutting embossing machine right there, and then I have my Empress over here. So I still use them both quite a bit. All right, and then adding a little bit of liquid glue to a heart here that I'm just going to add right there to that pin cushion right there at the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp so happy to have you in my life right here at the bottom next to all these elements. And then this is going to get adhered to the inside of my card. Now, I hope all of you are on my email list. I send an email out every Tuesday with everything in it. And then I send out reminders of deadlines and things throughout the rest of the week. So if you want to know what's going on in my Tuttle Up world and in Stampin' Up! And specials and all of that, you need to be on my email list. So here we go. Here's our second card for the day. I hope you guys love it. I had a lot of fun making these cards because they're simple. The DSP does a lot of the work for you, right? Do you guys like this one? Friends like you are golden. You're the best. I love saying that to my friends. You're the best. And I'm going to come back to my face here. I will be back here tomorrow at 12 noon for 2 more cards. That will be all that we do this week for our online card class to go. $50 order gets you a kit to make all 4 cards, plus a bolt of linen thread and the PDF with all the measurements and instructions and full color pictures. So join me back here tomorrow at 12 noon for the next 2 cards, and that will complete our online card class for the week. Show me some love, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up. I love your comments. Thank you so much for being here today. You can always shop in my TuttleUpShop.com. That takes you directly to my demo page to order from me, and I always appreciate your orders. So God bless everybody, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.